My name is Daniel. I'm a software engineer. My wife's a nurse, and we have one daughter, Emma, age 4. Last year, we bought our first real home, just outside a quiet town in Pennsylvania. We didn't have a big budget, but we found a beautiful 2-story colonial for much less than market value. A little too good to be true. The real estate agent said, "It's a motivated sale. The previous owner passed away, and his family just wants it sold." We moved in within a month. It felt like a dream, but the dream didn't last. From the beginning, there was one room that always felt colder. The guest room upstairs. Even with the vents open and the heating system working fine, it was always 10 to 15 degrees cooler than the rest of the house. I checked everything: insulation, vents, windows. Nothing seemed wrong. I brushed it off as an old house quirk. But then, Emma started talking to someone when she was alone. One night, I overheard her whispering in the cold guest room. When I peeked in, she was sitting on the floor, staring at the corner. I asked her who she was talking to. She said, "The man who stands still." I laughed it off, assuming it was her imagination. But then, things started moving around in that room. Drawers opening, lights flickering, cold spots shifting, and Emma's behavior changed. She started drawing pictures of a tall man with no face, just a dark shape with long arms. I started digging through town records and old news articles. What I found was disturbing. The previous owner, James Redford, had lived alone in that house for over 30 years. After his wife passed in 1991, he became a recluse. In 2019, he went missing. Weeks later, they found his body in the guest room closet, kneeling, eyes wide open, frozen like he had died of fright. The official cause, natural causes, but there were whispers around town that he believed the house was occupied by something else. After that, the activity grew stronger. At night, we'd hear footsteps in the hallway. Our dog refused to go near the guest room. The worst part, Emma started waking up at 3:17 every single night, crying, saying, "He's in the closet again." One night, I stayed up to watch the hallway. At exactly 3:17 a.m., the guest room door creaked open slowly on its own. When I stepped inside, the air felt freezing, my breath visible in the air. And then I saw it, a tall, dark shape in the mirror, behind me, not moving. When I turned around, nothing. I'd had enough. I went back to the guest room the next morning and checked the closet where James Redford had died. Behind a loose panel, I found an old journal. His handwriting was barely legible, but one page stood out. "She's still here. My wife never left. The colder the room gets, the more I feel her near. But she's angry. She doesn't want anyone else here, not even me." It wasn't a man Emma had been seeing. It was James' wife. After reading the journal, everything made sense. James had died in that room, not from fear of a stranger, but from the spirit of his wife, who had never moved on. Emma wasn't talking to a new friend. She was seeing what James saw for years. A bitter spirit, bound to the cold. That night, we packed our things. We sold the house within 3 months and never looked back. We don't talk about it much anymore. Not because we've forgotten, but because some spirits just want to be left alone. And maybe the cold was their way of making sure of it.